So both of my coats of paint are dry and we're ready for the top coat, the final part of this project. Before I put the top coat on, I am going to take my sandpaper. This one here is 180 grit, and I am going to just sand a few spots on the table just to give it a little bit more of a rustic look. I do also have a rag that is just slightly damp, which I will use just to pick up the dust after I finish sanding. So I usually do a little bit on the corners, a little bit around the table. There's no real pattern to it, just wherever you want to add a little bit of stress to. And then take the rag and just wipe the dust off so that when you're done, you can just be ready to put the top coat on. Here's what it looks like after the sanding is done. Just a little bit around the edges, a little bit on the pedestal there, just a little bit around the top. I don't usually do any sanding on the very top. I leave that completely painted. Now that the sanding is done, we're ready for the top coat. The one I like to use typically in these projects is a Minwax polyacrylic, and this is nice because it's low odor, and because it is winter and I'm doing my projects inside, that is really important for me. It also is very fast drying too, so I'm going to turn it upside down, do the bottom first, but I'm going to start with the feet, and that way by the time I do the underneath of the top part of the table, the feet will be dry enough that I can just turn the table over and continue my project. The top coat that I'm using is not as thick as the paint, so I find it does tend to drip if I get too much on my brush. So as I'm painting, I will actually go back and catch the little drips that are dripping, or just go over the spots that I've already painted with the top coat, and that way you're not left with globs of stuff hanging everywhere. When I get to the top, I usually do 2 coats on the top just to give it a little bit more protection. And there's the finished product.